What's up, squad? Back with another video. I said I thought I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. Y'all see it right here. A lot of people say I said it too fast, so I apologize. It's just how I do my intro. It's really nothing you have to worry about. Just to actually, and I please, you know, before we get in this video, if y'all can hit that like button for me. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. But I do have to say, this is wild. So look, I had put this video on here because obviously and it's crazy that I'm saying this. This is the first time, literally the first time I'm actually seeing this video. This Ilhan Omar promoting a safari restaurant. This owner was convicted in the Feeding Our Future $250 million fraud scheme. They stole millions of dollars from hungry children. Now, as I played this video for the first time, mind you, I didn't watch the whole video, so I don't want nobody. You just said you ain't. I didn't. I literally just pressed this as I was starting to do this video. Before I, this went live, and look at this.
Horta aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta safari aan soo gaarnay cunto ay helaan oo meelo safari waxay ay cunto siisaa 2300
2,300 families and kids meals.
oo ciyaar u helin in quraac qada iyo casho ay sidii ay qado ku siin.
Now look, I know y'all probably like Recklezz. Well, we don't understand it. I know, I don't either. And that's the reason what I was trying to get to, you can't even, and I feel like this restaurant being obviously in America, and I don't know if there's an English version of this, but me personally, I'm gonna be 100 with you. It needs to be in English. I'm not even trying to be that guy, but I feel like it should be, with it being obviously, being a primary language, English, I truly feel like it should be that. I thought I was going in this video and I could actually listen to what she was saying, but I don't feel like reading subtitles, and I know y'all don't either. So I'm not going to put y'all through that. You got it right here. This Newsmax says Ilhan Omar is obviously the most corrupt member of the most corrupt institution in the country. People are saying that it's truly, truly insane of what's going on. Me personally, she's definitely up there with what they saying, with Congress, because we can talk a lot about what's going on in California as well. But check it out right here.
All right, let's welcome in now Minnesota's Representative Kristen Robbins and also a gubernatorial candidate, Michael Hallstrom, is a state senator. Great to see you both.
Thanks for having me.
First to you, Representative Robbins, you have really led this charge. Is it time for a federal grand jury here to step in and, get involved in this request to get information from Congresswoman Omar?
I would love to see that, and I would also like to see our friends at the House Oversight Committee get engaged. We have tried at everything we can do here at the state level, and as you saw yesterday, all the Democrats on the committee voted to not subpoena Representative Omar and get us the documents. So they are turning a blind eye, as has been the pattern by Minnesota Democrats for the last 10 years or longer. So we absolutely should know what communications her office had with the Feeding Our Future defendants, and the public deserves to know, and it's important to our understanding of how this incredible fraud scheme happened in our state.
Senator Holmstrom, lawmakers are accusing Omar of enabling the $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud through her 2020 Meals Act. Now, here's a snippet of her throwing her support behind the bill.
Waxay cuntadooda ka helaan iskoolka kaliyo aynan gaajoonin oo familkoodii weli ay fursad u helaan in cunto ay helaan.
All right, so what do you make of these allegations, and what sort of next steps could be in place to hold her accountable?
Yeah, this is obviously the most corrupt member of the most corrupt institution in the country, Congress. Yeah. She not only authored the Meals Act, the most prolific abuser of the Meals Act was Safari Restaurant, a major donor to her campaign. She hosted events there, and she even created promotional videos for the Meals Act within Safari Restaurant. This is not an individual whose hands are clean. That's if we ignore the fact that she probably married her brother to commit immigration fraud, that she somehow lost $39 million overnight because the walls were closing in. People realize what this is, and the failure of everyone in Congress, GOP and Democrats, to hold her accountable is absurd. And now we have Minnesota Democrats who are refusing to allow a subpoena so that Chair Robbins can get some of these answers for the people of Minnesota.
Only though, Senator, we cannot forget all those things you just mentioned. They are a big part of this, and it's all the things you would do if you were guilty of something. Why not show up and answer questions if you have nothing to hide? And it's not just the fraud. You mentioned her own net worth in serious question after revising. Oops, I had an extra $30 million on my financial disclosure forms. Representative, this is not looking good for her, but also watch, you can tell she's a little stressed out about all of this. Watch her now responding to a reporter, called the reporter stupid.
There's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on this?
You're stupid for asking me anything. I am?
Yes. Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big mistake?
I have explained to the American people.
Like I told people, she responded like that because she knows she cooked. That's all that is.
What's the explanation?
I have given them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because
I don't want to tell you jack. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
Wow, what a lady. Senator.
Yeah, this is pretty commonplace for congressional Democrats. When they get put in a corner, they back in and they decide to use profanity to attack the person asking the logical questions. It is more of the same. It is squad behavior, and it is below her office.
I don't know you very well, Representative Robbins, but I cannot ever imagine you speaking to anyone this way. I mean, Ilhan Omar, this is, again, the type of behavior you see from somebody who doesn't have a simple explanation for all these questions that have been raised. Valid questions, by the way.
Of course, she shows disdain and arrogance towards the Minnesota taxpayers, towards American taxpayers all the time. She's a public servant. She should come and answer our questions, and it's very disappointing. But par for the course, unfortunately, with Representative Omar.
Yeah, this is a disgusting cultural issue that you have with so many of these members of Congress. They think they are royalty and above it all. No one is above the law. How many times did they tell us that, right?
That's right.
State Representative Kristen Robbins, Senator Michael Holstrom, thank you both.
So y'all have it right here. It's definitely, you know, like I always say, it's definitely insane. I need that on the shirt at this point because it definitely is. You know what I mean? It definitely is. And I know that y'all are tired of it. I know that y'all are sick of it. And the thing is that, and we're going to get to it, but it just goes to show you that she isn't the only one within this. You're having a bunch of Democrats that are obviously defending her. And it's truly sickening. You got it right here. Latinia Brown says, I don't see Congresswoman Ilhan Omar walking away clean from this. Says she think that she'll be forced to resign from Congress or, you know, be faced, to be expelled. Check it out.
Hey guys, this is Latinia, favorite community advocate. So I see that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar must submit documents to show her alleged involvement with fraud that's connected to a nonprofit and a restaurant. So this is going to be very interesting. So the president is stepping aside and letting the committees do their part in calling for Ilhan Omar to submit documents, text messages, emails. And to be honest with you, I don't see her walking away clean from this. I think that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is going to get into some serious trouble. And let's just say this. When you think that you're getting away with committing fraud, it all catches up to you. You know, you already know that the government has their way of, documenting these things. They wait to see how far you're going to take it. And a lot of people think that they're above the law. So it's a matter of time before she gets, probably expelled from Congress. She might be forced to resign. And there's a possibility that she may even be deported. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, you're in trouble, girl. You might want to consider all legal options. And if I were you, I would resign. I would resign and self-deport because I don't see this ending very well for you. This is taxpayers' money. You've been smiling in our faces. You've been disrespecting the American people. You said so many things that you cannot take back. And we're just not having it anymore. Americans are tired of footing the bill for illegals. We are tired of footing the bill for other people other than Americans. We need to put Americans first, and we need to address the affordability crisis. And of course, we need to start paying more attention to our seniors and veterans because they are also suffering, and they're not suffering in silence. So the Democratic Party, while you all are focused on protecting illegal
But
immigrants,
trust and believe, they just care more so about of themselves and more so about illegals.
you
And
have
that
Americans
ain't right.
walking away from your party because they no longer feel like you represent the needs of the American people. So I guess there's going to be more to come regarding Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
It definitely is, and I don't want people that have that and think and not have hope, that something won't happen within Ilhan Omar, because I truly feel like it is, and she's only making it worse for herself. I mean, you constantly see having a whole campaign party at this safari restaurant, and it's all there. I mean, it's a lot of things that's there. Obviously, they didn't at all. They're not helping anybody but Somalians. That's there. We went over it before, and I've explained to y'all. It's truly turning into Somalia. I mean, you literally have Somalians everywhere. I mean, you have them on the walls. You got them, working everywhere. You got them police officers. You got them, and that's something that I truly doesn't feel like, is the way to go. Me personally, I'm telling y'all. Says now that this Somali fraud is going on, Ilhan Omar is now accusing anyone investigating her fraud and saying that is you're truly, and y'all about to see here, and I'm sure y'all know what she's saying here. Check it out.
For $9 billion and dismissing critics as racist. Watch.
It's crazy.
So nothing is even remotely close to the narrative that they have about Somalis, our origins on how we got here, or even our numbers, which is always fascinating to me.
So it's more straight racism than anything personal.
It really truly is, yeah. So they learned the hard way.
Bro, it has nothing. It has literally nothing to do with race. It has a lot to, and that's the thing. I don't have to sit here and explain myself, obviously, because I know, and she knows what it truly is about. It's just that you have a lot of people that's obviously brainwashed, a lot of people that look for this race, especially it being 2026, and they look for that. And now they see that, and they're looking at the simple fact all the Trump administration and Trump supporters don't like Somalians or people that's, brown, and it literally just gets on my nerves.
Wasting lots of federal resources going after a ghost that really wasn't actually there, that was only of their creation.
Well, now they're just Ghostbusters, Greg. The chubby white lady was nodding along there for $9
Truly
billion.
insane.
And
I'll tell you that much. It's truly insane. It's truly sad and sickening that she's even doing that. There's Minnesota, Minnesota Democrats on the fraud committee have blocked a subpoena, into Somali Representative Ilhan Omar involvement in the $250 million fraud scandal. She is refusing to turn any documents regarding her fraud activities, and y'all see it. I mean, y'all just see that obviously they're trying their best, not only to cover her tracks, but theirs too. Check it out.
Closed on the state's $9 billion fraud scandal. Yesterday, they blocked a subpoena for materials from Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Investigators want to see her communications with the convicted ringleader of the theft from $250 million in COVID funds, that particular part of the probe. That money was meant to feed hungry children. The subpoena attempt came after Ilhan Omar blew off a deadline to turn over the information. Republican candidate for Senate in Minnesota, Michelle Tafoya, with this.
She has not participated in this process at all so far. She has remained somewhat untouchable here in Minnesota. I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why we don't hold all of our suspected wrongdoers to account. There is so much smoke here, and I want to find the fire.
Well, I can tell you who could talk about the smoke. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is digging in to get the facts.
I'm telling y'all, it's crazy. It's definitely crazy. And I truly don't even see, how they possibly think that this is something that's okay. Check it out.
Hi, Harris. Democratic Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar did not meet the deadline to produce documents and communications with defendants from that massive Feeding Our Future scandal, and she doesn't have to. The Minnesota House Committee on Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight made the unprecedented move of trying to subpoena Omar to produce the records. That subpoena required a 2/3 vote of the committee, and the vote failed 5-3, with the vote falling strictly on party lines. Every Republican voted in favor of the subpoena. Every Democrat voted against.
There's an investigation to be had, and this is a subpoena for the information. If there's nothing to be found here, then there's no problem issuing this subpoena. So let's bring light to the darkness.
Part of the reason that I was resisting the subpoena is the lack of confidence that it would be used, that any information we get would be used to gain actual insights. And in fact, just the opposite, that the activities in the committee have tended to prioritize, in my view, political theater and not going after fraud.
Omar championed the 2020 Meals Act, which removed guardrails on COVID relief money, and Republicans say it opened the gates for the program to be exploited to the tune of $250 million. Meals were billed to taxpayers and never delivered. Now, evidence in the trial for Amy Bach, convicted as the ringleader in Feeding Our Future scandal, showed multiple communications with Omar and her office. However, back in January, Bach told our Alexis McAdams there were no substantive communications with Representative Omar. Harris, back to you.
All right.
Somebody literally commented, and could you imagine if any of us now normal citizens would have done half of the shit she's done? Says we wouldn't see the light of day. I'm telling y'all, at all. That's the great. Not even. I ain't even about to say her. I'm gonna say other Somalians there, because other Somalians there, they not getting long at all. They get arrested. They not getting long. They get what, 1 to 3 years for millions of dollars, or they flee the country and they just leave them alone. I'm telling y'all. Benny Johnson posted and said, why has Ilhan Omar not been charged by the DOJ yet? Says Vice President J.D. Vance confirmed to us that they have the evidence to prove that she committed immigration fraud and many other things. Check it out.
I'll also be sending a message. Your colleague from Florida, Randy Fine, is making some waves, saying that he's going to be really pushing for getting Ilhan Omar up and out of the House for a number of different reasons. And he's cited them, everything from ethics complaints, obviously, to federal investigations and work with the White House and her immigration background. I just wonder, have you spoken with Randy Fine about this? Would you be on board with this? Will you be helping in this endeavor?
I haven't talked to Randy, but the frustration there with that case is, why hasn't the DOJ charged her? You've heard the president, the vice president, you've heard all these different people say they have proof and they have evidence of immigration fraud. Well, she should be charged with a crime and deported if that's the case. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of ethics complaints that have been filed, but there's been no investigations released. I led Sheila McCormick's ouster, but it took 2 years. 2 years for the ethics committee to go through its investigative procedure. The DOJ moved faster than the ethics committee did and indicted her on 15 crimes. So there's been no indictment on Ilhan Omar, and there's been no release of an ethics investigation. You need one of those to be able to move forward, so you have a factual evidentiary basis to be able to take action in the House. If you do something before that, I waited. I filed my resolution to expel Sheila in December, and the ethics investigation hadn't completed yet. And I waited out of respect for the process so that the body would have all of the evidence that was before them to make an educated decision. And then literally minutes before the last hearing, she resigned because she knew she was going to get kicked out. So there's got to be something either from the DOJ on an indictment, or there's got to be something from the ethics committee for us as a body to be able to move forward and expel her.
And one thing about it, I'm not even gonna lie, it's about that time, and I know y'all get sick and tired of it, because I truly am, it becomes annoying. It truly becomes annoying when you have a person that's committed all of this and nothing is happening. You've been talking about this for a minute now. We've definitely been talking, and there's others that have been talking about this for years, of what's been going down. But we've been talking about this for a cool minute, and it seems like obviously things are getting, and I know there's something will be done. It seems like things are getting, you know, obviously it's moving a little bit, but I feel like it's a lot of talk. You know, I truly feel like it's a lot of talk. You got President Trump, you know, right here speaking on Ilhan Omar and the whole investigation. Check it out right here.
But JD's done a great job. Thousands and thousands of people are it's a fraud. I mean, look at the wonderful country. It's a beautiful country. You should try it sometime. Somalia. It's a beautiful place. It's got no government. It's got no military. It's got no anything. It's got one thing that's really strong, crime. It's got a lot of crime. They have no police. All they do is run around shooting each other. It's filthy dirty, disgusting dirty. It's a horrible place. They come here, and Ilhan Omar, you ever hear of her? She heads it, and think of it. They have nothing but crime, poverty, pollution. Everything is horrible over there, nothing good. They say it's the worst country anywhere in the world, that we got some beauties out there, but it's the worst. And then she comes here from Somalia, and she tells us how to run the United States of America. She says, the Constitution gives me certain rights, rights. And I demand that I be given these rights. Get the hell out, what a phony. And then she married a brother to come in. I don't know, you know, you're not. But I would imagine they're looking at her. I have nothing to do with it. I would imagine. Of course I have nothing to do. I have nothing, but I believe she married her brother, which is totally illegal. Although it's a lovely couple, actually, but it's a little bit on the illegal side. Darling, I love you very much. Good night, brother. Let's go to bed. Good night. Isn't she despicable? I can't stand watching. I can't stand. Did you see last month, she accidentally checked the wrong box. It said she was worth $38 million. And law enforcement came after her for that. And then all of a sudden, she was worth less than $80,000. And she said it was accounting. It was an accounting error. That was not a very good accountant, was it? Huh? No, their whole life is based on fraud and a scam. The whole thing is a scam, and we ought to get those people the hell out of our country.
That's real talk, though. That's real talk, and that's what people don't realize. Like, it's not that that I'm trying to sit here and be mean, or you're even. So I don't want y'all to ever think like that. It's true live fact. I mean, it's about that time. I mean, there's too much stuff that's going on already in general. You know, just what I'm gonna talk about in my next video. I'm telling y'all, this stuff right here is definitely serious. You know, when it comes down to illegals, because it truly just goes to show you on how serious things are when it comes down to a lot and what they're trying to do. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. Definitely much love to y'all. I thank y'all so much for everything that y'all do. I gotta get it to y'all. Please share, and like. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Catch y'all next one.